Hey, Tokinego. So as requested, I'm going to show you how to calibrate the Phantom controller by HexGaming. This is the Hall Effect Edition. Alright, so first you're going to need the controller, obviously. Then you're going to need the calibration tool. You're going to need a ribbon cable. And you're going to need some kind of a spudger tool. And then the directions on how to calibrate the sticks. Alright, so first thing we want to do is we want to open up this little panel here with your spudger. And when you see in there, you'll see this plug. There's going to be a little black clip. Just be gentle and just lift that up right there. Next, we want to get our ribbon cable with the blue side up, and you want to stick it in. It only goes in about like a millimeter, and then you push that tab down. Be gentle with these tabs. Then just give it a little pull to make sure that it is in fact installed correctly. Next, if you look on the bottom of this, there's going to be a place for a tab to go in. That's going to be this. So blue side up to the buttons. And we'll stick it in here. You should feel it go all the way in. Same thing, just give it a little tug. And then it's installed. Alright, so next thing you want to do is plug in your controller. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the hardware tester website, and then what we'll do is we'll calibrate the sticks. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to hexco.gg/test. That's going to bring us to this page. Just scroll down a little bit to the hardware or gamepad tester section, and then we'll scroll down. You'll see that it says DualSense wireless controller because my controller is plugged in. We'll go just a little bit more so now we can see all the numbers. So first thing you want to do is you want to look at the axis 0, axis 1, axis 2, and axis 3. The number you're looking for in those is 0.00392. So you notice on my axis 1 it has negative 0.01178. Now what I like to do is just give the sticks a little flick, just to make sure that they actually are, truly kind of sitting in the middle. So you notice now it has 0.00392 on axis 0. That's perfect. Negative 0.00392 on axis 1. That is just a tiny bit off. So I'll show you how to adjust it, but sometimes it's so close to the edge that it just won't adjust to the perfect number, but that's going to be good. As you can see, it is centered. So let's say your numbers are way off. What you're going to do is you're going to hold C1 for 3 seconds. And as you see, the LED light came on. So now what you can do is you can move your stick in the axis and the way that you want to change it. So negative 1 is up, 1 is down, negative 1 left, and then 1 is to the right. So let me show you. Let's say my number was off on axis 1. I could keep changing it until I get it centered. So let's say it was sitting right here. You would keep going down because you need to go positive until you got to that number, right? 0.00392. If we're on the other axis, let's say this one was off to the right, then we would adjust it. Alright, and then at that point, you will hold C1 for 3 seconds. The LED flashes a couple times and turns off. And as you can see, our numbers are perfectly centered. So you'll do this for the right stick as well. So if you need to calibrate the right stick, you would hold C3, wait for the light to come on. Same thing, you would adjust, left, down, right, up. Keep adjusting those numbers until you get to 0.00392. Then you will hold C3 until the light blinks and turns off. So right now, our sticks are great. They are perfectly centered. So the next thing we're going to go into is the circular input calibration. Alright, so next we're going to do the circular input area calibration. So what you're going to want to do is hold down C2 for 3 seconds. And you see that the LED turns on. Next you want to rotate the left joystick counterclockwise to the full 3 to 5 times, then briefly press C2. So we'll go, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll press C2, and you saw it blinked. So next you're going to adjust the input. Push the joystick up, left, down, right in respect, and press the C2 button each time. So what that means is, first you're going to press up, and you kind of want to do it by supporting the joystick. You want to hold it up. And when you're in between negative 0.92 and negative 0.99, you want to press that C2 button. So we'll do the up axis first. So we'll press up while supporting it so we can keep it in place. And you see on axis 1, right there, and press C2. Then we're going to do left. Make sure you're doing it in this exact order. Support the stick so you can kind of keep it in place. And right there, and press C2. Now we'll go down. Press C2 and right. And press C2. Alright, so next what we're going to do is we're going to hold C2 for 3 seconds. And you notice the light went off. Now we're going to do the right joystick. So we'll hold C4. Light came on. Then we're going to go counterclockwise 3 to 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to press that C4 button, and it should blink. Now we're going to do the same thing. So we'll go up until we're at that negative 0.92 or negative 0.99 in that range, or positive 0.92 to 0.99 range. So next we're going to go left. Remember, on the right stick you're pushing C4 each time. Alright, then we'll go down. And then we'll go right. Alright, and then we'll hold the C4, and the light went off. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is the test the circularity calibration. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is test the circularity calibration. So since we just went through the last step and we adjusted the travel to that between the negative 0.92 and 99, our numbers right now are going to be off. So what you do is you'll look at, let's say, our left stick, we put it all the way up to the top and we're getting negative 0.95. We're down, we're getting positive 0.92. Over here we're getting negative 0.85 and 0.94. So if you're not getting all the way full travel, so negative 1 at the top, 1 down, negative 1 to the left, or 1 to the right, now's what you'll do is you'll calibrate it. So since our numbers are not getting those full extents, we're going to go into the calibration. So first what you want to do is you want to hold C1 and C2. And what it should do is blink slowly, as you can see. Next we're going to move the joystick in a certain direction, up, left, down, right, to the full, and click the C2 button before adjusting the axis value. So we're going to go one by one. We will push it all the way up, and you see now we have that negative 1 number on axis 1, and then we'll push C2. Now when we let go, you'll see that axis 1 now has negative 0.96. So that was where we did our calibration to. So what you're going to do is you're going to push the joystick right, multiple times to adjust the value until it reaches -1. So if you see that axis 1 number is going up every time I push it. So now we're at -1. And then what we're going to do is we're going to press C2 to save. Alright, so next you're going to move the joystick all the way to the left. Alright, and push C2. Then we're going to move the joystick up multiple times until we get to -1. You see that on axis 0. So now we're at -1, push C2, the light changes to a slower blink. Next we're going to move the joystick down till we hit 1, hit C2. Then we're going to move the joystick right until that axis 1 is 1. We'll hit C2. Then next we're going to move it all the way to the right. Press C2. Then we're going to move the joystick up until it reaches 1 on axis 0. Then we'll hit C2. Alright, so push the joystick up multiple times to adjust this axis until it reaches 1 or -1, then press C2 to save. So you see we have -1 on up, you go right, and we have 1. So we're good. We're going to hit C2 to save it. Then we're going to hold C1 and C2 for 3 seconds. Alright, so now our left stick is fully calibrated, so now we're going to do the same thing for the right stick. Except now we're going to hold C3 and C4. Alright, so you see that it's blinking slowly, so what we're going to do is we're going to move the right stick all the way up. Push C4. Then we're going to move the joystick right to get that axis 3 to get to -1. Push C4. Then we're going to move the stick left. Push C4. And then we're going to move the stick up. Until axis 2 reaches -1. Push C4. Down. Push C4. Then we'll stick to the right till axis 3 reaches 1. Push C4. Then move the stick to the right. Push C4. Then we'll move the stick up. Till axis 2 says 1. Alright, so now on this stick we will go up, we'll go right, and we'll make sure that we're hitting that -1 when we go up, and we're hitting 1 when we go right. We hit C4 to save. Then we'll hold C3 and C4 until the lights stop blinking. So at this point we are fully calibrated. So you notice that axis 1 and that axis 0 might be a little bit off. Just like I said before, just kind of flick the sticks real quick. Alright, now that we've calibrated the Hall effect joysticks on this controller, now we just want to test the circularity. You're looking for a number under 10% that's considered acceptable. So we'll click the test circularity, then we will spin the stick slowly. You don't want to press down, you want to be pretty consistent with your circles. As you see, we're about 4.8%. We'll do the other stick. And we're at 5.1%. So that's perfectly acceptable. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed this style of video where I show you how to calibrate the controller. Please like and subscribe if you are not subscribed to my channel. It helps me out a lot. And I'll see you in the next video.